So hi guys, our topic for today is about self-awareness. So I will be your reporter for today discussions. I am Kay Priscilla Moreno from Bsba 1C. So before that, welcome. Before I start, let's have a game. The game is called Find Me. So, kailangan niyong hanapin ang pictures na yan na aking i-insert sa aking video. At ito ang aking game mechanics. Okay, number 1 is you must find the hidden pictures that I have inserted in the video. You have to listen and observe carefully for you to be able to spot the hidden pictures. The first 5 people who can send me the screenshot of the hidden pictures will be the winner. Each will receive 10 pesos regular load as a prize. So, kailangan yung hanapin para may prize kayo. So, let's start our topic. First question, do you already know yourself? Kilala mo na ba talaga yung sarili? Maybe ang iba ang sagot ay yes and others are not. So this discussion will help you to know better yourself. So second is, how well do you know yourself? Gaano mo kakilala ang inyong sarili? Maybe some of you have clue what is our discussions for today, so let's start. Topic descriptions. This topic includes self-concept, self-esteem, and self-efficacy that will facilitate our understanding to ourselves and good citizenship values in order for us to strengthen ourselves in the event of times. So, introduction. Each one of us has responsibility to ourselves, but there are times we face difficulties. In recognizing those roles, we need to understand and realize who we are. Sino nga ba tayo? So to recognize those roles, we need to understand ourselves. So what is self-awareness? Self-awareness is understanding one's own or individual personality. Ang self-awareness are being aware of different aspects of ourselves, just like our traits, behaviors, emotions, and feelings. Sabi ng iba, ang self-awareness is being honest to ourselves kung ano ang nakikita natin sa sarili natin is yun din ang sinasabi natin sa ibang tao. Self refers to herself, himself, herself, and oneself. Awareness is defined as showing realization, participation, and knowledge of one's growth. So, ang awareness is being conscious about something. Aware ka kung ano ang nangyayari sa'yo, alam mo kung ano ang nararamdaman mo, at alam mo kung anong meron sa'yo. So, one of the key to the inner self is self-consciousness. Gives you an idea of understanding your personality that can help you develop as a person or as an individual. Self-consciousness is giving you an idea to understand your personality at tumutulong sa'yo bilang isang person na mag-develop ang iyong personality. This will help you to develop your self-awareness. What are the key areas for the self-awareness? Human beings are complex and diverse. To become self-aware, we should develop understanding of ourselves in many areas. For self-awareness, including the following. So these are the ng key para malaman mo ang self-awareness. So number 1 is personality. An understanding of our personality can help us find situations in which we will thrive, survive, and help us avoid situations in which we will experience too much stress. So personality is understanding of one characteristics that form our unique character. This is the character that we are showing to others. Example, loyalty, generosity, kindness, lovingness. Ito yung pag-uugali natin. If we already know our personal traits, mabibuild na din ang ating self-awareness. Number 2, values. It is very important to know and focus on one's personal values. Your priorities in life must be considered. There are times that so many problems and opportunities arise that our list of things to do can easily exceed the time we have to do them. When we focus on our values, we are more likely to accomplish what we consider the most important. So values, this is what truly important to us. Ito yung mga pinapahalagahan natin kung ano ang importante sa atin. Those are beliefs that are desirable, goals that motivates our actions and guide us to our life. Example, our achievements in life, our friends, family, and our health. So number 3 is habits. These are the behavior that we repeat routinely and often to automatically. Although we would like to possess that help us to interact effectively with and manage others. We can probably identify and at least one of our habits that decrease our effectiveness. So this is the habit that we repeat regularly and automatically set awareness of yourself. Habit means understanding the things that you should do daily. Ito yung mga lagi nating ginagawa like dancing, reading, singing, being aware to your habits will give you a platform to hone good one and eliminate the bad one. So number 4, needs. Needs cause motivation, and when needs aren't satisfied, they can cause frustrations, conflict, and stress. One of the advantages of knowing which needs exert the strongest influence in our own behavior is the ability to understand how they affect our interpersonal relationship. So, ang needs natin ang nagko-cause ng motivation para kumilos tayo at makuha ang mga gusto natin at pangangailangan natin. Pag hindi ito na-satisfy, syempre it will cause stress at frustration sa atin. Pag natukoy natin ang needs at pinaka nakakaapekto sa behavior natin, ibig sabihin nito ay kaya din nating maintindihan kung paano nito naapektuhan ang pakikitungo natin sa ibang tao. So number 5 is emotions. Understanding your own feelings, what caused them, and how they impact your thoughts and action is emotional self-awareness. Understand the internal process associated with emotional experiences and therefore has greater control over them. So emotional and feelings, this is when we recognize our emotions. Dito natin malalaman kung ano ang nagko-cause kung bakit tayo nagkakaroon ng emotion sa isang bagay. If we already know our emotions, doon natin maiisip na nakakaapekto din pala ang emosyon at feelings natin sa ginagawa natin at kung ano ang gagawin natin. Feedback. Number 6, feedback. Feedback comes naturally. When we own our outcomes, we naturally begin to ask ourselves what we could have done differently or better. Raise our curiosity. When looking at our performance and results, we might not know how to proceed or we may then want feedback from others. So, feedback, ito yung opinion o reaction ng ibang tao sa atin. Sometimes nakakatanggap tayo ng good and bad feedback from others. And importante yun na malaman natin ang paningin or opinion ng ibang tao sa atin. Next slide. Okay. How does self-awareness make individual more effective? So, self-awareness helps individual identify gaps between one skill which promotes skills and development. From this, the following can be improved and enhanced. So skills development is all about taking steps to better yourself, such as by learning new skills or overcoming bad habits. For example, smokers quit smoking. So number 2, knowing strength and weaknesses. Magiging effective ang self-awareness if you already know your strength and weaknesses. Number 3 is developing intuitive decision-making skills. So it is based on implicit knowledge rely to the conscious mind at the point of decision through affect or unconscious cognition. So number 4 is stress management in coping with stress effectively. Stress management. If kaya mo nang i-manage ang stress mo for you to be able to improve and to be productive. Number 5 is motivation. Motivation is defined as the reason why you are doing something or the level of desire you have to do something na parang may nagmo-motivate sa'yo na gawin ng isang bagay na yon na gusto mo. So, leadership. Self-awareness is an essential trait of a great leader. By knowing your values, personality, needs, habits, and emotions, and how they affect your actions and the action of others, you'll be better able to manage your stress, make better decisions, and ultimately lead others to do the same. So, yan. Next slide is self-awareness through human value. What are human values? Human values give worthiness and respect to life. The 5 human values is righteousness, peace, love, truth, and non-violence elevate the individual as well as the society, which one is a part. So human values are the virtues that guide us to take into account that human element when we interacted with others, other human beings. Human values are for example, respect, acceptance, considerations, appreciations, listening, openness, affection, empathy, and love towards other human beings. So, okay, self-awareness process. So self-concept is the cognitive or thinking aspect of self and generally refers to the totality of complex, organized, and dynamic system of learned beliefs, attitudes, and opinions that each person's hold to be true about his personal existence. So self-concept is how you perceive your behavior, abilities, and unique characteristics. For example, beliefs such as I am a good friend, I'm kind person. Its most basic, self-concept is a collection of beliefs one hold about oneself and responses of others. So next. So next is number 1. This is the example of self-concept. So yan. You as you. Hindi ko nababasahin yung Latin na yan ha. Pero ibig sabihin yan is know thyself. Let's begin to know yourself, since the essential formula for the achievement is self-analysis or introspection. You as you. Ikaw bilang ikaw. Know yourself kilalanin mo mabuti yung sarili mo para mas madali kang makilala ng ibang tao. Number 2, you and your faith. Filipino worship is directed towards God as a father figure who takes care of all. Like, bahala na ang Diyos, signifying that divine providence is responsible for our destinies. Thus, whenever problems confront us, we tend to turn against God and blame Him for all the misfortunes. So, Filipinos are very religious despite of different beliefs and religion, especially Catholicism and Islam. And we always say, ipagpasa Diyos na lang. Parang we are giving to God our destiny. So number 3 is you as a Filipino. Being aware of and remaining constantly on the guard against the Filipino tendency towards negativism, you can eventually propel yourself into positivism. Use your lakas at tibay ng loob, makialam ka sa buhay mo. Makisama ka and believe in your abilities and work unyieldingly to reach your objectives. So, you as a Filipino, because tayo mga Filipino are very competitive, ayaw magpatalo. Amidst of this pandemic, we are coping up our problems financially man yan, family problems, nakakaya natin because we are strong enough to overcome the negativity na nangyayari sa buhay natin. Next is all about self-esteem. Self-esteem is a person's overall evaluation or appraisal of his or her own worth. It encompasses beliefs and emotions such as triumph, despair, pride, and shame. So self-esteem is your overall opinion of yourself, how you feel about your abilities and limitations. When you have healthy self-esteem, you feel good about yourself and see yourself as deserving the respect of others. When you have low self-esteem, you put little value on your opinions and idea. So next is self-efficacy. Self-efficacy is defined as a people beliefs about their capabilities to produce designated levels of performances that influence over events that affect their lives. So self-efficacy refers to your belief in your own ability to control your motivations and behavior. For example, isang student ay magaling kumanta. So may confidence siyang sumali sa isang singing contest because she has self-efficacy. May kakayanan siya sa isang bagay na yon, kaya nababagay siya sumali doon. Parang ganun. So next is self-identity. Internal and external elements shapes the person's identity. This includes the following: language, development, acquisition. Number 2 is person's expanded experiences, including outside persons, which he feels more involvement like friends. Number 3 is the person's position and roles being played. So self-identity is how you identify and define yourself. It is your perception of speaking, it is your perception of specific and selective traits, qualities, abilities, and characteristics that represents you. Dapat i-acknowledge natin ang uniqueness dahil hindi naman tayo pare-parehas na ugali, ng capabilities, kaya we should stop comparing ourselves to others because we have different self-identity. Halimbawa, si Mark, magaling kumanta pero ikaw hindi. Pero may iba ka namang talent na wala sa ibang tao. So next is, so the self according to various authors. G.A. Alport calls the ego, which has the appropriate function in the personality, the self. It includes bodily sense, self-image, self-esteem, and identity. Number 2, R.B. Cato. He focuses on the self as the principal organizing influence exerted upon man, which gives stability and order to human behavior. He initiates the significance of self-observation. He initiates the significance of self-observations. He distinguished the real self from the ideal self, such as real self. This is that which a person must rationally admit to be the actual. The second is ideal self, that which a person would aspire to become. So number 3 is G, Murphy. He defines self as the individual as known to, to the individual. So next is, how does self-concept develop? Paano na-develop ang self-concept? So the development of self-concept can be achieved through the following. So number 1, interactions. The responses of the people around as individual are significant in the developing of one's self-concept. The more a person interacts with other people, the more likely the individual develop a positive self-concept. So interactions. Through interactions daw is madedevelop ang self-concept kasi nakakahalubilo ka na sa ibang tao. So number 2 is self-perception, self-observation. We try to observe other people and identify them as like ourselves. We always try to observe ourselves that may lead to drawing conclusion to ourselves. This process leads to the development to self-concept. So, self-perceptions. For example, nakita mo yung sarili mo sa isang tao na yon, parang parehas kayo sa isang aspeto like pag-ugali or habits. Yon. So, number 3 is social comparison. Development of self-concept happens also as man chooses somebody to be his role model or idol. An example of this is sibling rivalry or comparing oneself to others. Social comparison. Nagde-develop ang self-concept kung nagsisimula na tayong tumingala sa iba kasi sa pagkukumpara natin ang mga sarili natin sa mga idols natin, nalalaman kung ano ang mga katangian na gusto nating i-improve sa mga sarili natin. Katulad ng, kunwari, sexy ni Ivana, gusto ko rin maging ganon, parang ganon. Dito naman is parang kino-compare mo yung sarili mo sa ibang tao. Next is, how can one look at these many selves? There is need to review and examine one's many selves. Number 1, self-image. How I see myself. Paano mo nakikita yung sarili mo? Number 2 is reputation. How others see me. Ano ang tingin sa akin ng ibang tao? Number 3 is actual self. How I am at a given moment and situation. Ano ako sa sitwasyon na yon. At number 4 is real or true self. How I ought to be according to my time, nature as a human person. Kung paano ako dapat bilang isang individual. So next slide is, what are the characteristics of self? Number 1, the self is not an entity but a process. Dahil para makilala mo lubusan ang iyong sarili, kailangan mo nito ng proseso. Number 2, the self is reflexive. Ang self ay nag-reflect sa mga bagay-bagay na gusto natin at ginagawa natin. Ang self ay number 3 is the self is comprised with attitudes. Ang self ay binubuo ng iyong ugali. Siyempre, kung wala kang ugali, hindi matatawag na sarili. Yun. At number 4, the self is the means whereby social control becomes self-control. Siyempre, kung ano ang nangyayari o nagaganap sa inyong society, yun din minsan ang naa-adapt mo. like like beliefs, behavior, and characteristics. So yeah. So thank you guys for listening. I hope you understand and you enjoy my discussion. Thank you guys.